Hey everyone, and welcome to the second tutorial video in this series of Clear the List in partnership with tree3. In this video, you'll learn how to launch your school store. Go ahead and visit clearthelist.tree3.com to start. Here's where you can learn about all of our updates, you can launch your school store, and you can also create your wish list. If you do not already have a tree3 login, then go ahead and sign up. If you've launched maybe a classroom store, another school store, or a wish list, then you can go ahead and use those credentials. I'm going to sign in with credentials that I already have. From here, we can create a new store. What you name your store is also what your store's URL is, the unique handle that you'll share with store consumers. Think about something that you want to share, maybe if it's representative of your classroom specifically or of your school. As you can see, it automatically populated in the store URL bar. The short description populates at the footer of your storefront. Every time someone's shopping on your page, they can see that content. If you're not sure what to put yet, don't worry, you can change it later on. If you have any questions about our terms and conditions at tree3 specifically, these blue words are hyperlinked out to that information. The templates are simply a launching pad for you before you customize your store. It populates with products, images, and just to really give you some inspiration. But remember, single thing about your school store is customizable. I'm going to select the high school template. Once you click select, that template is going to launch your store. So make sure you choose one that is appropriate for the audience that you're trying to speak to. It just takes a couple minutes to launch, and then as soon as it's ready, you will have a live store that you can share with school supporters, friends, your parents, really anyone that you would like to get involved in helping. Because remember, every single transaction that occurs on your school store, your school is earning. So just like that, our site is ready. So you have the option to go check out the store, or you can actually go ahead and log into your admin where all of the customization features are. I would like to show you guys the store first. So as you can see up in the URL bar, it's that store name that we just created, Miss Boucher Rocks. And then we've got banner images. We already have a menu bar populated with a bunch of menu items. All of these will link out to products. So your store is ready to go. But you want your store consumers and store visitors to really feel like they're shopping on your school store. So it's important to customize to best represent that feeling with imagery, with store colors. So let's go on over to the CMS admin to make those customization edits. Log in with the credentials that you launched your school store with. This is our CMS admin, known as our content management system. In our dashboard, you should be seeing zeros simply because you just launched your store. As you have transactions, that information will populate here, and you can see how much your school is earning. So let's move on to settings. Within the store feature, here you can actually change the name of your store, but the URL will stay the same. So just keep that in mind whenever you are thinking about changing your store name, that you want to make it easy and straightforward for people that may be trying to be a school supporter. The header logo, and the favicon image can be updated, and we recommend you guys using something like a school mascot or maybe an image or an icon that represents your school well that people will recognize. The dimensions that fit the UI, or what is also known as the user interface, which is how the site is designed, are identified here. So make sure that you are cropping your images to best reflect that information. To change it, you simply click on to the image and an asset library will populate. Since you used a template to launch, there will already be images that are there. But if you have your own images that you would like to upload, simply click Upload New Assets and you can go ahead and upload items there. I'm going to select, so let's go ahead and select, I'll do CTL just so you guys can see the change. And I'll do it in the header as well. Meta tags are not necessary for our platform, but we wanted to provide that option for those of you who would like to use them. And then make sure, as a teacher and part of the Clear the List, so we know that your school is earning, you select Clear the List. If you used a template, it'll already be populated for you. Make sure you save. Now let's go on to payments. In the payments section, because you are a teacher, you'll want to select I'm a teacher, help me clear my list. If you are creating a classroom school store, or if you're creating your store for your school, you as an individual cannot earn off of this site. All the earnings go directly to your school. So make sure by clicking that button, you then enter your school name, city, and state. The other fields are not required, but just help expedite that process of getting those dollars into your school's pocket. Again, make sure you save. Analytics is something for a lot of our other store owners that are not necessarily in the school space. As tree3, we are in partnership with Clear the List, but we have store owners in all different types of verticals. However, if your school does have Facebook Pixel and Google Analytics that they would like to incorporate the information that and track the information of people and visitors on your school store, you can use those same codes here. Now we're getting into some of the fun stuff. So underneath catalog, go ahead and select retailers. Now because we've chosen a template, there's already going to be retailers selected. So a good place to start would be show only selected retailers. And by clicking that, you can view the retailers that your template was launched with. If you're curious about maybe a retailer that's selected that you don't know what products they have or you're not familiar with them, if you just simply click on the name of the retailer, it will redirect you to their actual site. So then you can kind of get a good feel if that's product that you want to have available on your storefront. By selecting a retailer, you click that blue box, and when doing so, you then have access to populate that entire store's products on your site. So it's pretty exciting to check a retailer. So let's go ahead and check Amorvert. Now, something fun about Amorvert I always love to share is every time a t-shirt is sold from their store, they actually plant a tree. So that could be a fun thing that you want to have to encourage your students and their parents, and just to get involved in giving back to communities through shopping. And then another detail that's really important for you as a store owner is to understand how much each of these retailers are paying you as a store owner. So by clicking See Retailer Commission Rates on the right-hand corner, then you can actually see the details that each retailer is paying for those commission rates. Now these change at certain times of year. Sometimes if there's a lot of transactions, then that percentage may rise. Sometimes for whatever reason, like for instance COVID, some of those percentages may have been lowered. So just make sure you're checking in to make sure that your expectations are always aligned with what those percentages are, and so you have the best retailers selected with the highest paying commissions. We have some exciting partnerships in specifically the education space, so we'll really want you guys to check out that retailer commission rate list. Now that we have some retailers selected, we can go on to what we call collections. Now, this is probably one of the most important parts when launching your store, because this is where you actually curate the products from each of those retailers that you would like to populate on your storefront. So by using a template, we've kind of done some of the heavy lifting for you in building out some of these collections. So first, let's check out how we can manage some of these collections. And I bet you also have maybe noticed that there's two different collection types that we're seeing here. There's a search set collection and an individual curated products collection. Let's go ahead and manage those products in the individual curated products collection. And let's use science. So by clicking manage products, I now have the option to either add more products to this collection, or to remove some of the items. So to remove some of the items, you can click Products in Collection. And this will show you all of the items that have been selected to populate in this collection on your storefront. So you can see exactly what retailer this item has come from. You can see the name of the item, the price, and a picture that will all populate on your storefront. If you're curious what that looks like, you can actually click on the name of the product and it will show you what it's going to look like on your storefront. Now, if you would like the item to move and be maybe higher up onto the storefront, you can use these arrows to customize the order that the products show in. If you're curious what the item looks like on the actual retailer site, by clicking the retailer's name, it will take you to see that product on the retailer's site. So let's go ahead and add some more products. Let's add some test tubes. Okay, so it looks like we already have one selected, but this 4-pack looks awesome. So by simply hovering over the image and clicking Add to Collection, you can see that item. And same idea as just when we're viewing products in collection, if you click on the name of the product, it will take you to see the product and how it would look on your actual storefront. So if you want to check it out before you populate it into that collection, you can do so. Ooh, these look fun. Test tube adventures. I'm into that. Cool. Okay, so we've added a couple new items, and as you can see, by simply searching test tubes, there's 298 results. That's pretty impressive. So you guys can have so much fun building out these collections for people to shop. And it should be pretty easy to simply build collections, and you can filter them in and out and only host them on the store when you want to. I'll explain that a little bit further once we get to homepage, but just know that if you want to sink some time in updating these collections and then have them just sit there, that is totally okay. So let's create a new collection. And since we didn't look at the search set, I'm going to go ahead and create a search set collection. So actually, I'm going to use the same example, test tube, since we had such a successful search result with that. So you'll want to click on the square to then select a actual image. And I'd probably want to add an image to my asset library that reflects science. But for this tutorial, let's do, ooh, this is a science one. Perfect. That's kind of cool. Looks like COVID. Okay, so test tubes. There we are. Now let's go ahead. I use the shortcut on my keyboard of enter, but you can also use the magnifying glass on the right-hand side. Now again, we have 298 results. So if I were to save this search and populate this collection on my homepage, when someone goes to shop that collection, they would actually have access to shopping all 298 products on your homepage, which is exciting, but also could feel a little overwhelming. So if you want to limit that down, you can actually apply filters. So let's apply discount school supply, and that narrowed it down to 6. So let's check it out and see if we're pleased with that. Ooh, that's really cool. Science experimentation lab. Let's go ahead and save this search because I feel pretty good about it. So simply by clicking save search, you have now a search set collection that when someone clicks onto this collection, they only see these items. Okay, and that's how you build collections. So optimized search now, you guys are gonna see something a little crazy here. So because we do crawl all products onto our, when you select a retailer and we're crawling their products, that means we're crawling everything. So because Walmart is one of our retailers, we crawl some of their videos and some of their books that of course we do not want students to be able to search and find. So we have already done our due diligence to exclude those words. So anything with these words in their title or in their product name will absolutely never populate on your storefront. And we're working on our end to make sure that this is built in internally as well. But in the meantime, you guys are just gonna have to see that. So if there's anything else though that you would like to exclude from your site, I'm trying to think of an example, but really it could be, I mean, you could exclude test tubes if you guys don't want any, or you could exclude candy if you're not a believer in processed sugar. There are so many things that you can use this feature for. And then on the other end of it, if you want to boost things, you can actually boost specific words. So this is just a really fun feature to help you guys in your search results on your storefront. So look for updates from our team at Tree3 on when this is built internally. I hope that gives you a good chuckle, because I've certainly had a little bit of a moment whenever we first saw this. So moving on to customization, this is such a fun part for you as a school and for your teachers individually for their classroom to maybe use some imagery for your students to see their artwork on your classroom store. How cool would that be for them to see their artwork on websites? So let's go ahead and move into Asset Library. And here we highlight the details of sizes for specific imagery. To upload a new image, you'll click the Browse button, and it'll access the images that are saved to your computer. You can upload to 10 at a time, so feel free to select multiples. This images that are 600 by 600, these are for those collections. So when we were just building out those collections, that's where this size comes into play. The banner images can be 1920 by 600, 1050 by 100, and those are things that will just run across the screen. So maybe let's take a look at our homepage and we can actually see what those images look like on the homepage. So in the left-hand corner of your CMS admin, you'll see a shortcut to go to store. You can click that to view your store. So as you can see, this is a banner image. And then if I scroll down, this is a collection image, just to give you guys a visual for the different types of pictures and the sizes that you'll be cropping the images to. Within the menu bar, this is the collections that populate at the top of your storefront. So this lives on the top of every page. So if someone's shopping around on your storefront, they always have access to see this content. And the collections can be clicked on and shopped. So when populating this menu bar, you have the complete customization feature as well for the order of items that you would like these collections to populate in. So you can simply hover over what we call a hamburger, or it's also those 3 lines, to drag around these collections to put them in the exact order. Now, everything is happening on your storefront in real time. So if you're moving things around and customizing your storefront and someone's shopping on a page, they may be in the middle of an experience and shopping and then go back to your homepage after viewing a specific item and see some things moved around and be like, oh my gosh, but don't worry about it. It's more just something I like to share with you guys so you know that there's no preview stage. Everything occurs in real time. To simply add another collection, you would click the arrow on the right-hand side next to those 3 lines, also known as a hamburger, and click the button Add to Collection. If you would like to delete, you also have that feature there. And if you would like to put a subheading, go ahead and click on the pencil and type a subheading. Click Enter to save or return on your keyboard as the shortcut. And let's go ahead and update this so you guys can see in real time how that subheading populated. So it was in athletics. So now you can see on the right-hand side, sports rock, and as a subheading, it's a little bit bolder, but just notice that it did take up that top line. So if you're gonna have subheadings, I suggest that you have them going all the way across, like here. Moving on to homepage. This is what the store or viewers see when they come to actually shop your storefront. So this can be completely customized however you would like it. Same concept, hovering over the hamburger or those 3 lines. You do not have to have images at the top. You can start with collections at the top. So let me just refresh this to show you guys. And this is also a good time to mention that the logo on the left-hand side can be used as a redirect to take you back to your homepage. So as you can see, I had moved that banner image a little bit down. So now when someone first comes to your storefront, they see those collections carouseling across the screen. It's really up to you. We see store owners create their sites so many different ways. So you, what we call a module, can decide how you want to populate those collections. So we have 3 different types of modules. An image module, which I showed you guys is the banner image, and this actually can be hyperlinked out. So if you wanted to connect an image module to a specific product, maybe for like a science experience, or if you wanted to connect it back to your school website, not your school store, that's an option as well. So there's so many customization features. The single image collection, let's go ahead and populate one of those. So we'll simply click on single image collection and we'll select a collection by clicking collection from what we just have built out. So you can see there's a list of collections, and let's go ahead and use that test tube collection. And click back over to display. Now the name says module 6. This only shows internally in your CMS admin. No one on your storefront can see that name, so it's only for organizational purposes. The small heading and the big heading populate on the storefront as content. So let's go ahead and say science is a blast. And capitalization, it shows in all caps on the storefront. Big heading, actually, I don't think I want to have a big heading, so I'm going to go ahead and leave that blank. And save. Now let's visit that homepage, click refresh to see that real-time change, and scroll to the bottom. And there you can see science is a blast, and the products that we had selected in that search set carouseling across the screen. Now there's no collection image that's populating here. It's actually the products that are in the collection, the images that are populating. And that's because we've selected only a single image collection module. Now let's go back and check out that multi-collection image module. This is our last type of module. So when we had that drop down with the 3, we had the multi-collection module last. And this is actually what's populating currently at the top. So you have the same concept of a small heading and a big heading, but rather than selecting one collection to populate, you select multiple, and you can select as many as you would like, and they will carousel across the screen with the collection image that you populated when building out that collection. Okay, so now moving on to the footer. This is what populates at the bottom of every single page as a store consumer is shopping on your storefront. So remember when we typed that short description when launching your store, that's what's populating here. So again, this is visible while you're shopping on any page if you're viewing a product. You can see here that we have icons for social channels. If you do not have social channels that you would like to link to your school store, just simply delete those that are already populated and the icon will fall off. So let's go ahead and do that here so you guys can see what that looks like. Now, if you have social media handles that for specifically your school, we highly suggest you link those just so you're keeping them engaged. And the footer logo image is the same by clicking on the image as all the other asset library images. And by clicking it, you can select what image you would like to populate there. And if you'd like to change that short description, you can go ahead and do that here. And the title as well. Sometimes we see store owners use this to feature specific superstar students. They may feature a specific product that they're loving and just use this space to kind of talk to store consumers. Okay, so don't forget to save. And let's go ahead and refresh the page so you guys see how that information dropped off. So see, now there's no icon, so it won't look like there's anything people are missing out on. Store colors, moving on, is an awesome way to give some school spirit. So it's just a hex code if you have for your school colors, you can go ahead and type that information here. Or if you want to be creative and use just your own specific colors, go ahead and click the color box and select from our color wheel. If you're curious where a specific color may change, we have a question mark next to the titles that if you click the question mark, an image populates to let you know where that color is going to be featured. Okay guys, now moving on to reports. We're almost done. Your store is hopefully building out some awesome collections. We've got some customization going, making it really feel like your school store. So now this is important for the money making part for your school. So remember, anytime someone makes a transaction on your school store, your school is earning. And so if I were to go and buy my shampoo, my toothpaste, my everyday necessities on your school store, your school would be earning on that commission. So you got to think of it as it's not just about school supplies and getting those needs into your classroom, but there's also opportunity to really raise some funds based on just everyday shopping that your parents in your classrooms, maybe your alumni, maybe school supporters are making. So by sharing this opportunity with them, it's a way for them to do their everyday shopping, but knowing that on the back end, they're doing a good deed and that your school is earning. So in reports, you can see orders. Now, we're not going to have any orders here because you guys just watched me launch this, but I wanted to just show you what it looks like to actually have the information. You'll get a tree3 order number. So now when someone is shopping on a tree3 site, which is video number 4 in this tutorial, so make sure you tune in to see that. But when someone is actually shopping, then there is a tree3 order number that is applied to that order and emailed out to them with their receipt as soon as they make that transaction. Now, if they shop for multiple retailers on one transaction, which is the beauty of tree3, is they will still receive one receipt from tree3, but then each retailer in partnership with tree3 will also send them an email that was part of that transaction with their specific retailer receipt and transaction number, as well as the tracking information. You'll also receive the date, the customer email, the status of the order, and then the retailer that was included on that order, price, tax, and shipping. And as a school, you're earning on simply just the price of the products, not the tax and the shipping. Revenue is somewhere that you can see the earnings that you're making for your school. So this will be fun to see this rise. And then logs is something that's really important for people who are maybe changing their store often. Maybe you have a couple people at your school working on one site. So you can actually see who's logged in and what they're modifying on that school store. And if you ever want to change something and then go back to how it was before, you can repopulate it based on the information here. Underneath team is how you can invite team members. So I'm the owner because I just launched this store, but if I wanted to invite a friend or say a colleague to help me manage this store, I could simply click invite new member, type their name, email, and choose what role for them. As an owner, they have complete access to do everything, include edit the payment information. As a viewer, they can't make any edits, but they can view all information. So if you have someone at your school who is helping keep up with books or maybe donation amounts or fundraising opportunities, this would be a great thing for them to have a login for just a viewer. And then as an editor, you can make any changes that you would like to images and collections, but you do not have access to change payment information. Once you invite them, they'll receive an email that they can accept to then log into this backend CMS admin. And you guys, that's your tutorial. Your store is ready to be shared and shopped. If you ever have any questions, please don't hesitate to reach out or visit the tree3 Help Center. There's a shortcut in your CMS admin on the left-hand side. And then also visit tree3.com/ClearTheList/. And this will get you to these videos you're seeing right now. Thank you, and tune in to the next video so you can learn how to build that wish list and get the items to your classroom that you need.